Welcome to Hartman Math. This is lesson 3.2 Quadratic Trinomial Factoring. Quadratic means we're going to have x squared. Trinomial, we're going to have three terms. So this is kind of the focus of our factoring. The other stuff that we have done, we're going to do. It's important, but this is really the critical part. If you have aspirations of taking Math 3, you have to be really good at this. So we see example number 1, factor. It's got three terms, x squared in the front there. So we've got quadratic trinomial factoring. Here are the steps. Always think GCF first, no matter what. Anytime it says factor, is there something in common in all three terms? In this case, no. This only has x's, this only has numbers, so there's nothing in common. Which it's important to think of that first. Second, we're going to think double bubble, which means two sets of open parentheses. That's the next step. We're going to fill in the parentheses now. We need those open parentheses. Number 2, we're going to lock in the fronts. So basically we're looking at the front here, x squared. What times what makes x squared? We should think x and x. Those are our fronts. X times x makes x squared. Now we're going to look to the back, to that last term. And we're going to list all of the factors of positive 12. What times what makes positive 12? Best idea is not to just go randomly choosing things, 4, 3. Go in order. 1 is always a factor, so start there. What about 2? What about 3? And so on. So we've clearly got 1 and 12, we've got 2 and 6, we've got 3 and 4. But also, what are all of the ways of multiplying two numbers and getting a positive? It doesn't have to be a positive and a positive. It could be a negative and a negative. So all of our pairs are right here. Now we're going to choose from that list and put into here. The last part is to check the middle term with the outside and inside multiplication. So if we tried the 1 and the 12, we would check outside and inside. Plus 12x plus 1x does not make plus 8x, so that didn't work. Try something else. What if we tried 2 and 6 plus 2 plus 6? I think that's the one that's going to work because we're going to get plus 6x plus 2x makes the plus 8x. There's our answer. We are factored. We've got parentheses. You try on this one. Go ahead and factor. Follow the steps. Think GCF first, then double bubble, lock in the fronts, list the factors, try them out, make sure it works by checking outside, inside. Pause here until you got it. The winning combination, x and x in the front, it was -1 and -10. Outside, inside makes -10x, -1x. That makes -11x. Example number 2, factor x squared minus x minus 90. Look for a GCF, there is not one, so we're going to double bubble. Now we're going to lock in the fronts. What times what makes x squared? X and x. Boy, listing the factors of -90, it's not positive 90, it's -90. So 1 and -90. 2, -45. And so on. Now notice, I think there's more. There's -1 and positive 90 and so on. I didn't list all of those, and I'm going to show you why I don't need to list the opposites as well. So we've got our factors listed. Now we're going to go ahead and choose and put them in and check, which is kind of a guess and check process. All right, so I could go through and I could try things. I think I'm going to try something like this. Now, what if I had accidentally listed the other ones? Maybe I had chosen -9 plus 10, because that really would be in my list. So what I would take a look at is I would say, okay, that's plus 10x minus 9x. That makes plus 1x. I was supposed to get minus 1x. So I got the right coefficient, just the wrong sign. If that's the case, we're really, really close. It just means that we need to switch both of our signs. We need to change that one and that one. So we'll change this one to plus 9 and that one to minus 10. And then if we double check again, we get negative 10x plus 9x, and that does make the negative 1x. And as far as order goes, if we had taken these and reversed them, and it's still x plus 9, it's still x minus 10, but in a different order, we already know with multiplication, order doesn't matter. 5 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 5, so that would be fine as well. All right, pause here. Go ahead and try this one. Hit play when you're ready. The winning combination is x minus 3 and x plus 10. If we check, we get plus 10x. Minus 3x is the plus 7x right there. Example 3, a little bit different with a coefficient in front. Let's do the same things. Let's look for a GCF always. We got numbers here, but 2 doesn't go into the 15, so no GCF. Then we're going to walk in the fronts after we double bubble. Now, what times what makes 2x squared? That would be a 2x and a 1x. We don't need to write the one, but a 2x and a 1x makes 2x squared. Now let's list the factors of positive 18. We've got 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, negatives. And one thing that I know as far as which set I'm going to choose here, when this is a plus, it means both positive or both negative. This sign here, in this case being a minus, tells us they're both going to be minuses. If that was a plus, I'd look here. This is a minus, so I'm going to look here. So what should we try? Why don't we try negative 3, negative 6. Now, which goes where? I can tell you already, I know that that's not going to be the minus 6. It can't be, because we looked for a GCF and there wasn't one. But this has a common factor of 2. If this has a common factor of 2, that would also have to have a common factor of 2. It doesn't. So the minus 6 can't go there. I think the minus 6 is going to go in the other spot. There it is. Minus 12x and a minus 3x makes minus 15x. You try. Pause here, work through, and play when you're ready. No GCF, double bubble. In the fronts, we're going to have 3x and x. And then the winning combination for the plus 40 is a plus 5 with the 3x, a plus 8 with the x. Let's check. Plus 24x plus 5x makes plus 29x. There's our winner. Example number 4. Think GCF first. If you don't think about it, you're not going to do it later, which means you're not going to have it fully factored. Every factoring problem that we do is really a fully factored. So I'm going to notice that there's a 3 that evenly divides into each of these. So factor out the 3. 3 times 2x squared, 3 times positive 5x, 3 times negative 12. Now maybe that's it, maybe that's all we can do, but we are going to check in the parentheses and see it does have 3 terms. We're going to try to double bubble. Don't lose the 3 in the front. Let's lock in the fronts. What times what makes 2x squared? 2x and 1x. And we're looking here. We're kind of done with this. So we're looking here for the negative 12 when we list our factors. 1 and negative 12, 2 and negative 6, and so on. The one that I know that cannot work is the 2 and the negative 6, because this doesn't have a GCF, which means I can't put a 2 here, there would be a 2 in common. I can't put a 6 here, there would be a 2 in common. So I can kind of get that one off the list. Maybe it's this one. Maybe if we went, or dot signs, if we went plus 3 and minus 4, we would see we would have negative 8x plus 3x is negative 5x. We were supposed to get plus 5x, so we're just off by a sign. Change that sign, change that sign. Minus 3 plus 4, and we got it. And we're fully factored. You try this one. Pause here until you're ready. Think about the GCF. This one does have a GCF. They're all even. We can factor out at 2. 2, then, and so on. We're not seeing all the steps here, but then we would end up with this. Example number 5, factor. So no GCF. Let's double bubble. Let's see if we can lock in the front. What times what makes 8x squared? How about 8x and 1x? List all the factors of positive 3. There aren't many to choose from. Since this is a minus, I'm going to choose the minus. And let's try minus 1, minus 3. We would get negative 24x and negative 1x did not work. Maybe I could switch places. Make this the minus 3. This the minus 1. But I would get negative 8x and negative 3x makes negative 11x. And that was all I had to choose from, so it didn't work. But is there another way of making 8x squared? Besides 8x and 1x, could we try 4x and 2x? And then again, choosing from here, how about we choose negative 1 to go there, negative 3 to go here. We've got negative 12x and a negative 2x makes our negative 14x. There it is. Pause here, go ahead and try this one. You should have gotten 10x minus 3 times x plus 2. That's it for today. I'll see you next time.